No major news today, so let's get straight into the data and the charts. Do me a quick favor and like and subscribe and watch the video till the end to help out the channel, and let's get started. Starting off with fear and greed here, you can see we were at a 45 today, up from a 39 yesterday. Still neutral on momentum. Strength in greed here, interesting, that's up at 5%. And then breadth in neutral, that stepped up from fear. And then looking at put call ratio, that's still in fear here at a 75. And then volatility did pull back quite a bit today, but it's still relatively elevated. And then safe haven demand, still extreme fear. This has cratered here recently, but junk bond demand has not moved. Moving over to earnings, Bristol Myers beat on both. 3M absolutely crushed it, and they put out huge guidance. We'll have them on market movers for today, and that'll pretty much wrap it up. Pretty good week on earnings, except for Tesla and Google taking a huge dump. Moving over to the economic calendar, you can see PCE pricing did come in here, and it was in line with expectations. Core month over month, flat. Core year over year was up just a little bit, 0.1, and then the headline numbers in line with expectations. So minimal changes there. Michigan numbers for 1 year flat, 5 years up just slightly, which is really a projection. And then consumer sentiment was actually quite positive on those Michigan numbers. So overall, I would call this bullish. A little bit concerned with that core year over year number. Moving over to Max Payne, stock price 544.55, so moved much closer to that Max Payne finish. We did expect that. We were at the bottom of the calls. We expected to get a more mid-range finish, and sure enough, that's what we got. We ended up with the bullish day. Total options 1.3 million. Put call ratio very low at 1.53. Overall, still a very bearish week, which we did expect with all of these calls in the market, but not as bearish as the bottom of the calls, which is now down around 537 or so. Moving over to the charts here, starting off with the S&Ps, you can see the gap up, held the 21 EMA, rallied higher on the day, rejected off of that 55 EMA, but still stuck in this consolidation. Did close above the level, which was 544.01. You can see that closing price 544.44. So right now looks like we're going to get that pop up. We've been looking for it. I honestly thought we were going a little bit lower. I thought we'd hit this trend line, maybe that 535 level, just get a big wick here, and then like a closing price and a mid candle, and then look for a push. But it looks like we're going to get it a little sooner here. Based on this kind of move, I think we're probably going to get to that 550 level on the next candle. We'll see how it plays. Either way, this does look short-term bullish. Moving over to the Tasty charts, obviously one day is not going to be enough to reverse conditions. That's all the way up at 563.92. So still bearish conditions on the daily chart, bearish momentum. You can see very little volume on the day. Doesn't mean we can't see a little bit more rally. The 8 EMA is at 547.84. So we didn't quite get there, did come up short of that, did reject a little bit, closed basically in the middle of the candle, so not super strong. I still think we'll get a second day push. You can see here, we are grinding towards that mid-range. ATRs did not roll down any further. You can see volume-weighted MACD rolling up a little bit. Again, not a ton of volume, but it did look a little bit better here on the 4-hour chart. I think we can get to that ATR resistance, which is at 548.25, which again is about another $4 higher from here. Moving over to the NASDAQ here on the hourly chart, you can see the gap up, choppy price action, doji candle, still positive 1% on the gap and rally, just a little bit momentum swinging to bullish, RSI stepping up a little bit. Not super strong. I still think we can get at least to the 55 EMA, which is going to be 467.23. You can see still very much bearish conditions on the hourly chart, but this is extended. 9 EMA sitting up there at 475.60. 21 at 484.68. So think we can get a second day continuation off this inside candle. Should give you at least 468.05, maybe up to that 472 area. So we'll see. Either way, slightly bullish from here. Moving over to the Russell and the Dow, you can see the Russell gapped and rallied 1.65. The Dow did the same, 1.62. Momentum swinging back to bullish on both of these. RSI is a little bit more bullish on the Russell than the Dow, but both look good. Let's go ahead and extend out that trend line here. That would give you a price target of around 411, 412. And then the Russell gapped through this trend line. Next one is 226.02. Moving over to stocks that moved, we got 3M and Charter Communications. 3M almost 23% on the day. Massive earnings, massive guide. Everything was super strong. And interestingly, a lot of that came after the open. So it opened around 112.74 and then it rallied almost another $15 on the day. Massive move, huge volume. And this is a stock that suffered here You can see not that long ago in 2021, it was up around the 170 area, bottomed out around 74, and now you can see we're back into the 120s. It's on a run. Everything looks super bullish here. Typically, you get a second day continuation, so something to watch there on 3M. And then Charter Communications, also huge volume, also big gap up, 16.6%. This is something that has been fighting similarly to 3M, up around 458, bottomed out around 255, and now we're back into the 360 area, gapped right through that 200. Everything looks super bullish. It's falling just a smidgen after hours, but again, you would expect some kind of second day continuation. You can also see back here on the 28th, big up candle there, huge volume, would expect continuation off of that, and sure enough, you did get it. So everything here on both of these stocks says bullish. Moving over to Apple and Microsoft. Apple still holding the line at 217.62, slightly positive, 0.22 to the upside. Momentum still bearish, RSI still bearish. But this is an interesting zone if it's going to do it. And then looking at Microsoft, hit the 144 yesterday. Again, we thought we could see a bounce from there. Sure enough, we got one, 1.64. This is still a bearish setup, even with the rally here. I do expect it to be pretty aggressive, get back into the zone, be met with sellers, and then we can get continuations lower. Momentum bearish, RSI perking up, but still bearish. Moving over to Tesla and NVIDIA. Both of these really didn't do a whole lot of anything. Tesla down 0.2, still in the same consolidation, still holding that 214 level. Did wick those lows, did finish basically at the close from yesterday. Momentum and RSI still bearish, but again, you could see an upswing here, really could go either way, but slightly bullish again. And then looking at NVIDIA, so this one really tried to rally. Pretty interesting, gapped right here to that 116 level, and then gave it all back down to 113. Again, slightly positive, 0.69. Momentum bearish, RSI bearish. Structurally still looking quite weak. Moving over to Meta and Alphabet here. Meta catching a bounce. Talked about this level. It was very close, basically closed on top of it. Got the gap and rally like everything else. 2.71%. Momentum swinging to bullish. Looks like a relief rally setting up here. And then surprisingly not the same here on Alphabet. This one looks quite bad still. Down 0.27. Made a much lower low on the wick down to 166. Ended up finishing around 168. Either way, from top to bottom, this is still not great. Down around 14% on the week on this move. So we'll see how it plays. That is a wick rejection. You could see a swing higher just like everything else, but I would expect it to be weaker based on that price action relative to everything else. Moving over to staples and discretionaries here. Staples catching a big bounce, 1% higher. Again, we talked about it. We still think this is a higher low. We closed at a good level, so we're above this close back here from the 16th. That's kind of been the high water mark. We did that here on the 17th of July, gave it all back, and now we're here again, hoping for that continuation higher. Last time we got here, we wick rejected, but momentum bullish, RSI bullish. I think we can do it. Probably getting driven by that 3M move. I'm pretty sure they fall into the staples ETF. And then discretionaries here, 1.12%. Momentum still bearish, RSI still bearish. So this looks like a relief rally. 185.36 would be the price target, coming off of that 55 EMA at 181.86. Moving over to RIOT and Marathon, these caught a little bit of a bounce here with Bitcoin rallying 4.38%, gapped and gold. You can see we were holding that VWAP. We talked about this zone being an important area. I thought we might hit the 21, but we ended up bouncing early there. Hit the 200, rejected. So we're in this consolidation still. We're right at these highs from that mid-June time period. Needs to hold that if we're going to swing up to the 14 area. And then looking at Marathon, island reversal, doji down, doji up. I guess technically both of these are island reversals here. 6.36%. This doesn't look as good. I would like to see it get back above the 21 and then start to push, momentum start to swing there. Either way, this is a low, higher low. And if we get continuation here on the Monday session, that should be quite bullish with a potential for a higher high up around that 28, 29 area. Moving over to 20 and 50-day breadth. Both of these got a swing up. We talked about this zone being an interesting area. Talked about the trend line here. Sure enough, we got a little bit of a bounce from there. 50-day looked even stronger, got above the level 68.66, and you can see we fully engulfed that Wednesday candle, something that the 20-day has not done. So this should give us a little bit more bullishness. 77.46 is the next level. Then we'll see what happens there. Either way, this is still a low, higher low setup on both of these charts. Moving over to the dollar on the hourly and the daily, the dollar basically moved sideways, 0.07, slightly bearish on the day. Momentum not moving. Honestly, not much here. It does look okay, still holding that 200 SMA here on the hourly chart. You can also see that's a slightly higher low from the previous day. Still testing that same zone, 104.41. Can't seem to get above it. Every time we touch it, we reject quite strongly. But here, you have a low, you have a higher low. With this flat top, I would expect this to continue up. We'll see how it plays, but either way, I still think this looks slightly bullish on the dollar. Moving over to the 2-year and the 10-year here, both of these fell today. Interesting. Momentum bearish, RSI bearish. Both of these really swinging back to the bear side after closing basically on the low of the candle. Pretty interesting. I still think this is probably going to hold a higher low and start to get some consolidation or maybe even a swing higher. But the 2-year closing below, not below the wick from yesterday, but below the trend line here. So we'll see how it plays. And then looking at the percentages, just about even. 2-year down about 1.04, and then the 10-year 1.2, so about even on the down move, if not a little bit more bearish here on the 10-year. Structurally, however, 10-year still much more bullish with that low, higher low if it were to bounce here, with the 2-year low, lower low on this last move. Moving over to bonds, J&K gapped and fell here, hit the level, rejected once again, still in this consolidation, still in a bullish trend, but just can't seem to close above that 95.61 level. And then TLT gapped and rallied. We had the inside candle yesterday. We said that was a reversal style candle. Sure enough, we got the reversal, 0.87. This still looks bullish to me. I think we could see a swing higher, which is interesting considering what we're seeing on yields. Yields did look bearish. I still think the 10-year is going to hang in there a little bit better. If we get the continuation higher from here, the next level is all the way up around 94.39. Moving over to volatility. Volatility fell on both of these. Move index pulling back slightly. VIX actually an island reversal here, so we gapped up, dojied, gapped down. Still a bullish structure. Think we could see a pullback at least to that 9 EMA, which is at 1584, so we'll see if that level holds. Could pull back even a little bit more, maybe back to the 1470 level. Maybe throws a big wick to the 200 even, sitting down at 14.21. Pretty interesting to see that big close right on the low there. So again, fits with the overall thesis of a continuation rally on Monday, but I don't think that this down move is concluded. I think this is just a short-term relief rally that we're going to get. Moving over to my accounts, I made a little bit of money, was able to make up for yesterday, which was good. The Russell rallied aggressive, rolled out to 222 for Monday, did pull back a little bit from that level, so you can see that's already in profit. Max profit here is going to be 225.72. I do think we're going to get continuation there on the Russell. And then Qs, I did put some shares back on. I did sell a call at 464 for $2. Pretty decent credit there. And you can see it fell just a little bit after hours, not much. So I think we're going to hang in there, definitely hold the base, if not rally into the Monday. And then I did continue this position on XOP out to next Friday. Rolled up a little bit to 143 and then got 99 cents on that credit, and that's in a small profit already. So overall, pretty good trading day, definitely better than yesterday. And all of my positions are relatively bullish going into the Monday. Let me know down in the comments section what you thought of the charts. Are we going to see that short-term reversal, or will this be a longer-lived move to the upside? Definitely like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.